And so the first thing we need to do for this classic recipe is our parsley. So take a bit of time removing as much of the stalk as you can, just leaving the beautiful fresh parsley leaves. And when you've got a really good generous handful, using a very sharp knife, dice up your parsley pretty fine. The only other thing we need to prepare for this recipe is to prepare our cod fillets. You can do this a few different ways. You can use whole cod fillets, or you can chop them into smaller bite-sized pieces. It is entirely up to you. So using a very, very sharp knife, I like to chop my full fillets into halves or into thirds, just so they're a little bit smaller and more manageable to work in the pan. So chop them in half or chop them into thirds, and when we have our cod fillets as you want them, pop them into a bowl ready to cook. And now, once we have our cod fillets prepared and our parsley nicely diced up, we can start to cook. So I like to use a good saucepan to start the dish, and we want to pop that onto a medium heat and chuck in around a tablespoon of butter. Once the butter starts to melt, chuck in about a tablespoon of your flour, and we start this one by making a basic bechamel or a roux. So cook out your flour, stir the flour and the butter through until we get a nice paste, and then we want to slowly start incorporating our full fat milk. So pour in a few tablespoons, stir that through, and repeat until we have a nice smooth sauce. We want it about the consistency of cream, so add as much milk as you need until we have a nice smooth sauce, not too thick. And at this point, once we have our sauce pretty much as you need, we want to go in with our fish stock. You can use fish stock pots, fish stock cubes, or you can use your own homemade stock if you wish. Taste for seasoning and add a pinch of sea salt if you need. Stir through your stock, and then I like to transfer the liquid from the saucepan into a frying pan where we're going to poach our cod. So pour your sauce into a high-walled frying pan, and then we want to finish the sauce with some lovely cream. So pour in some cream, stir that through, then bring the sauce up to a nice gentle simmer, and we want to pop in our cod fillets. Also chuck in your parsley. Gently stir this through, and we're going to need to give the cod fillets anywhere between 2 and 5 minutes depending on the size. The pieces I've got here, you want to leave them in about 2.5 minutes, any smaller about 2 minutes, or for big chunky full-sized fillets we're going to need to give it about 4.5 minutes or so. And after a few minutes of poaching, we are ready to serve our beautiful cod in a parsley sauce. And so we want to pick out your beautiful chunky cod pieces, pop those onto a plate, and then finish with a nice few spoonfuls of your beautiful creamy parsley sauce. A real classic, really simple and beautiful and delicious.